Hi, you're with me, Anne Edwards on GE13, The Showdown. Welcome to our show. Now, make promises you can keep. This was the statement by a group of protesters at Shah Alam recently. They were protesting against the Selangor state government for not keeping up to their promises and their word. We will direct this question to our guest today, YB Nik Nazmi Nik Ahmad, who is Adun for Seri Setia, also Communications Director for PKR. Welcome to our show, Nick.
Hi, Anne.
Did you know of this protest? I'm sure you did, at Section
Yes.
7 Shah Alam recently.
Yeah.
Okay, what would be your response to this?
Well, I think there's some the protests when we see the different protests that were being done. For example, those which were done by the elderly. We have already implemented our scheme Mesra Usia Emas, where all those who are 60 years and above and who have resided in Selangor for more than 15 years receive 2,500 ringgit upon their death, the Takaful scheme. That has been implemented. But when we saw the people who protested, a lot of those were people who did not register for the scheme.
So you have disbursed this 2,500 Takaful insurance. This is what it's called.
Yes,
it has been distributed.
Yes, many residents in Selangor have benefited, but the precondition is that they have to be registered with the program. So, you know, if they are unhappy about not receiving, then they must check whether they are registered or not with the scheme.
So they have to register.
Yes.
And also another promise made is to single mothers, and this would be an allowance of totaling 11 million. Has this been paid out?
Well, I would like to give the background to the whole manifesto in the last elections. First, we must bear in mind that there was no Pakatan Rakyat before 2008. What was there was Barisan Alternative between PAS and Keadilan, and there was DAP. DAP contested separately. However, when we won in 2008, the manifesto that was there was the manifesto from the Barisan Alternative that's being alleged by many quarters.
So which manifesto are you implementing?
We have actually implemented 16 out of 23 pledges that we made in the Barisan Alternative Manifesto, and many of the other policies that were being promised in the manifesto are in the process of being implemented. So actually a large portion of it, where the state government has actually spent over 800 million ringgit, has been implemented. So when you talk about saying...
But that does not answer my question on the allowances, like say for the single mothers, because this was actually taken out and questioned. Yeah.
I was just giving a background to the whole situation. Yes, so there are parts of it, of the manifesto that has not been implemented. But
when will it be implemented?
The 11 million, we have to check with the state government. But as I said, I mean, because the conditions have changed as well. The fact that it's not Barisan Alternative government.
That's right.
The fact that we now have DAP and Pakatan Rakyat, so we had to readjust our policies. But a large portion of the pledges that we made in the Barisan Alternative Manifesto has been implemented, and we have spent 800 million ringgit in order to implement them over the past 5 years. Okay,
just a quick one before we take another break. First break, 1,500 scholarships were given out, and out of these, only 2 recipients were Chinese and 3 were Indians. So there are criticisms saying that the state government is not fair in disbursing scholarships to all the races.
Well, I think we have to look at the number of applicants. Okay, a very large number of the applicants were actually Malays, and what do you call that? We also have made efforts to reach out to the various other communities by advertising not just in Bahasa Malaysia newspapers, but also in English, in Tamil and in Chinese newspapers, so that various communities get the information in order to increase the number of applications from them, and ultimately we want a system where those who are deserving, regardless of race and background, will be able to obtain the scholarships.
So you're saying that the fact that it was not fairly distributed, it's not the right criticism here?
Yes.
Okay, we'll take a short break. We'll be right back here on GE13, The Showdown. We've been talking to YB Nik Nazmi Nik Ahmad Adun of Seri Setia. Stay with us. And we're back right here on G13, the showdown. I'm Anne Edwards. We've been talking to YB Nik Nazmi Nik Ahmad, who is Adun for Seri Setia, and also notably the youngest candidate, back in 2008, and you won in that area. Is that right? Yeah, but not this year. You will not be the youngest candidate anymore, YB. Will you be contesting? Okay, where?
That I wait for my party leaders to announce.
Okay, yes. Just try very hard. Okay. The BN has launched an onslaught in Selangor. How is Pakatan and PKR responding to this?
Well, we acknowledge that Barisan Nasional has launched a strong onslaught on Selangor because Selangor is the most industrial, the most developed state among all in the country. However, we are very confident because we believe that Pakatan has shown that in our 5 years in power, being a new government, we've been able to implement many new policies. We've been able to introduce the Freedom of Information Enactment, the first in the country. We've been able to show that we can run things not just efficiently, but most importantly, more transparent, and we've been able to fight corruption and also continue to spur economic growth and distribute wealth to the people. So those are the things that give us the confidence to face Barisan Nasional in the coming elections.
There has also been criticism about the high land conversion fee. This would be premiums, right? High land conversion premiums, which has resulted in the escalating property prices in Selangor, meaning that only the rich can live in the state of Selangor.
Well, you have to look at the full picture. For the rakyat in general, those, for example, in the kampungs or new villages who have been residing in the kampungs for many years, for example, the government has a very friendly policy towards giving land, where they just pay a nominal 1,000 ringgit premium to get the land. That has never happened before in the country. For leasehold land, to extend the land, for example in PJ, 99 years leasehold land, my father is one of them, for example. When you want to extend the lease or you want to transfer the land within your family, again the premium is only 1,000 ringgit. Again, that has never happened before, because previously you were charged the market value of the premium. For me, that is an unfair criticism. Of course, when it comes to developers, when it comes to private developers, the state is more strict right now, and we look carefully.
Why is that?
Well, we want to see that, you know, we do not want abandoned projects. The state wants balanced and sustainable development to take place. You know, we do not want to, as you already see, that there's so many high-level, high-rise developments. We want to take that under control as much as possible, and balance that with the needs of the infrastructure, with the traffic and all that. So everything needs to be taken into account. Actually, our development charges are at the same level as Kuala Lumpur and Penang, and those things need to be taken into account because we need to look into the drainage, into the traffic infrastructure. So if those things are not taken into account, the residents will continue to suffer.
We've got about a minute left before we wrap up. YB, the crux of this entire interview is fulfilling promises. Yeah. In the coming general election, 2013, I understand also, and we know that Selangor has a separate or manifesto. What would be the most significant pledge that you will be making, that your party will be making for the people in the state of Selangor?
Well, for Selangor, it has not been officially launched yet. Okay, but as for Pakatan is concerned, our most important thing is to bring cost of living down for the people. So I think we've launched a few policies, for example, bringing car prices down, to make education free. We've done the calculations, and we're very confident that those things can be implemented for the benefit of the rakyat.
Enough money? Enough
money.
Thank you so much, YB Nik Nazmi Nik Ahmad, here in our studio talking on G13, the showdown. I'm Anne Edwards. Thank you so much for your time and attention. We'll see you once again very soon. Bye-bye.